Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. If you haven't already, please hit the like button below and please hit the subscribe button below to keep up with everything we have going on here at C1 Review in Las Vegas and beyond. We greatly appreciate it. Today, WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios held a media workout in Las Vegas for its upcoming fight against Manny Pacquiao here in Las Vegas on June 19th at the MGM Grand. He was joined by his trainer Bob Santos. We will have more on that tomorrow. This evening, YouTube star boxer Jake Paul will have his latest contest against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's going to take place in Anaheim, California. It'll be on DAZN for any of you who want to watch that. Bob Santos, who has trained with Jake Paul, gave his thoughts on tonight's fight.
Well, you know what? I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I think it's great for boxing. You know, you have Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who I went up against at one time. I think it was his first pay-per-view with Jose Salaya back in the day. So obviously he has a lot of experience. He's been in there with Sergio Martinez. The caveat is, does he have enough in the tank to take on a young, hungry Jake Paul? I spent some time with Jake Paul back in the day in Puerto Rico, obviously, and I will tell you this, Jake Paul, not too many guys train harder than him. So I think it's going to be a great fight, and it's going to come down to experience versus hunger and desire. I'm thinking Jake Paul might be a little bit too much for him. I don't know how much, like I said, Chavez Jr. got left in the tank.
Mr. Santos followed up by giving us his analysis on where Jake Paul currently is in his boxing career.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, obviously, you know, he's building a brand. He's developing. He doesn't have a big amateur pedigree, so he has the more fights that he gets in and around and sparring sessions and things of that nature. And they'll have to determine his team, Nakisa, Mike Lenardi, who I know very well. They'll have to determine where he is at that point. But people got to understand something. The guy trains like nobody that I've ever seen. I give him credit for that. But he's limited in his experience, but his experience is starting to grow. So I think with every outing, they'll see when he'll be able to step up and go into that next level. And I guess that's for him and his team to determine. But that being said, remember, here's the caveat. The guy didn't have a lot of experience, and still, he doesn't have that many pro fights. But what he's done so far has been pretty incredible.
On who we would like to see Jake Paul fight next, Bob Santos said this.
Wow, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Dorticos or Ramirez. Let's see how that plays out tonight. They're going to both be on the card. I know Dorticos real well. He trained out there with Lanier Perot, my 2016 undefeated number 4 heavyweight in the world, and we'll see how that plays out.
WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios, who is getting ready for his July 19th fight here in Las Vegas against Manny Pacquiao at the MGM Grand, told us what he believes Jake Paul needs to do to earn the respect of the people in the boxing community who are still skeptics of his fighting career.
I think, you know, if you just, starts, getting to like the fights with the top 15 in his division, I think that'll really start answering all the questions that everybody has, because they're putting a lot of labels on him, and even himself. He calls himself the best, all this and that. But I think when all those questions are answered, when you start competing against the best in your division.
Finally, boxing publicist Mario Serrano, who's been in the game for more than 20 years, told us who he thinks will win the Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight tonight.
Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez. I gotta go with the seasoned pro, Chavez Jr. Jake Paul could punch. He's gotten a lot better over the years. I just think the experience of Chavez Jr. is gonna pull it out. I don't think he's gonna knock him out. And if anybody does get knocked out, it's gonna be Jake Paul knocking him out. But I just think he's in good shape. I've been hearing Chavez Jr. is in good shape. So I think he's just gonna pull out victory, whether it be unanimous or a majority decision.
Tomorrow we'll bring you more with Mario Barrios and Bob Santos as they get ready for the upcoming fight against Manny Pacquiao on July 19th here in Las Vegas. I'm Christian for C1 Review. If you haven't already, please hit the like button below and please hit the subscribe button below to keep up with everything we have going on here at C1 Review in Las Vegas and beyond, and I'll see you in the next one.